Devil May Cry Anime Season 2 is a masterpiece at being a piece of trash. I am a huge fan, and I mean a huge fan. I have completed all 5 games, platinumed at least 3 of them, and played even the reboot, and I've read all of the mangas. So judge for yourself how big of a fan I am. And I can with 100% certainty say that neither is this anime good for being DMC, nor is it good at being an alternate interpretation of DMC, meaning that even on base value, if it had no reference, like if the games didn't exist at all, even then this is not good. And to prove it, I'm gonna go episode by episode, giving you my thoughts on all the little details and then arriving at a final conclusion. So without further ado, let's get started with episode 1 of The Devil May Cry Season 2. First episode got me thinking, why the hell is Dante not even in there? He's there for 1 minute at the end of the episode. Why is it that shows like this and The Witcher don't give any spotlight to the titular character and have side female characters take all the screen time? Yes, Lady and Yennefer, I'm pointing my finger at you. I like the chance for world building and action as well, but the pacing seemed really off. Like we start off with this war scene which is happening between humanity and the demons, and first off, the scale for this war is absolutely terrible. Secondly, the design of all the demons is awful. God awful. Also, they still are sticking with using Temu designs of game bosses for filling up the time. Like, look at Goliath. Okay, Goliath is in the first episode, the one from DMC5, right over there. And the thing I hate the most is that the games with each and every boss, they had only 1 to 3 minutes of dialogue. Okay, that's it. That's all they got for screen time. But even that was enough to keep me interested and find out the lore behind them. That stuff was enough for me to judge their personalities, whether they kill for sport, or they hate Sparta a lot, or are just loyal to some demon lord. And why? Next, we see Lady going full ninja mode and sneaking up into the palace of Mundus, the demon king. And also, it was that easy to distract Mundus? Really? Like the king of hell just has this massive ego to display his power and leave one of his most prized possessions, a deadly artifact, just there on his throne. Also, I get it. One has to be loyal to the source material, but are you that reliant on it that you'll use the exact same reskins of the game bosses? Like in the first episode I mentioned Goliath, we also have Beowulf and one of those Angelos. Like, it's one thing that I just don't like, that they're being shown just being grunts with no context or lore behind them at all, and almost zero personality. Because as short as DMC is, cutscenes wise, the bosses were still given their own personality and their own characterization. I thought that Lady swears less. Okay, I really thought Lady would swear less because she swore very less in this episode. And it would stay like that for the rest of the series. And boy, was I proven wrong. But it should not have been that easy to just steal the Arcana. You just don't sneak up into the devil's palace and escape without him knowing. Like the Arcana is this big substance of power, right? And you're telling me Mundus couldn't sense it being stolen? Like he has no idea this is happening? Now, speaking of Mundus, Mundus's design is good. Okay, he looked scary somewhat, but something was just off with the voice. Okay, the voice was not my cup of tea. And that's okay, that's fine. But Virgil on the other hand, I am just not getting him. Like I'm not vibing with him at all. Also, they for some unnecessary reason included Virgil's chair from the memes, and that just makes me feel as though the entire show derived its storyline from memes only. Oh, and also they don't even unfreeze Dante for like the entire episode. He's still there in the Timu Bacta tank, and the main protagonist of the franchise is not there for a whole episode. The main face of the franchise is not there for the very first episode of your anime. Let that sink in, guys. Have you ever seen in any show, live action or anime, this is happening? Even ensemble cast shows do this better, man. They ensure each and every one of the cast members get a lot of screen time. Now, let's move on to episode 2, okay? Episode 2. There's a party scene with the president and Arias, and I really do not want to waste my time in seeing this parody of a president. I'd rather go and watch Trump's speeches on YouTube rather than see whatever the hell that was. Also, I like Dante's scene of waking up and the cartoonish animated scene of him and Lady meeting up. I thought that was a breath of fresh air in terms of humor, but I just can't help but think that all the characters we learn of in the game and mangas are just wasted upon by this show. Because for a show to be really good, whether it be live action or anime, you need world building. You need to flesh out your characters, but this show did none of that. Season 1 aside, the best example I got to know in this season was of Nell Goldstein, who's basically just a normal weapons handler for Darkcom in this universe. Whereas in the game canon, she's a motherly figure to Dante who went by Tony Redgrave in his mercenary days, and her story and penultimate death was one of the saddest Devil May Cry moments. It was all explored in the mangas, but anyways, that's my personal viewpoint. Also, this scene was copied, by the way, the one where Dante does the gun trick, not original at all. So do what you want with that. Also, Virgil just talked to Mundus about being subtle in the very first episode and hiding among the humans, blending in with them, and it took only 2 minutes for him to walk into a prominent talk show and reveal everything about Mundus himself and the demons. Game Virgil's character aside, I'm not even talking about Game Virgil, okay? Who will be stupid enough to do something like that? If you are diving into this political global stuff, at least have some sort of build up for it. Or give us some more time with Virgil in the human realm. Also, at the end of the episode, Virgil is basically Superman. He can now fly without using wing. That's a thing. Like, what am I watching, man? What the hell is this? Episode 3. Okay, I thought this just might be my favorite episode of the season. I thought, okay, because I loved the flashback sequences of showing more of Ava, Dante, and Virgil in their childhood days. I like the fact that Dante is just more talented and Virgil is more of a hard worker, which suits the brothers very well. And also we see how truly fragile and emotional Virgil is deep inside. And just as I was beginning to like it, just when I thought this show is gonna have some peak storytelling, the pacing messes it up all over again. Virgil goes from seeing his mother die to joining Mundus in mere flashes. And Virgil joining Mundus because Mundus rescued him and empathized with him is so much more corny than him getting brainwashed and enslaved into his service for years. Also, him serving Mundus from childhood just basically destroys the entire DMC3 storyline, right? What made it special? And Nilo Angelo is not even his true devil form. It's supposed to be a corrupted devil form, man. Not by consent, by force. The lack of substance and the absolute destruction of the immeasurable potential that the storyline could have had is baffling to me in this episode. This episode was perfect for what I said about world building. Basically, my point, if it is an alternate interpretation of a franchise, then why not showcase it? Why rush it up? Virgil, son of Mundus, sounds great. Awesome work, guys. Peak storytelling. And Virgil just straight up goes to the White House. What happened with blending in with the Sapiens, Virgil? Whatever happened to that? And what is this dialogue writing? No emotion. No build up. Whatever the brothers just straight up meet. And he's like, hey man, what's up? Been so long. Nice to see you again. Oh yeah, Mundus didn't kill our mom and he's my daddy. Now, yeah, let's fight. And as much as I don't have a problem with their animated fight scene, Virgil does not fight like that. He's supposed to be a precise and disciplined swordsman with a highly fast-paced moveset, and him just using Yamato like a one-handed short sword with it being out of the sheath constantly is really not acceptable to me. And don't even get me started on the build-up of this fight because there was none. There's nothing to talk about here. They just meet and just go on fighting. And well, DMC is supposed to be stylish. Okay? DMC is supposed to be stylish. Any anime, you see any anime out there, at least the action ones, none of them mess up the fight scenes. They're supposed to be stylish as hell. Look at JJK. Look at Dragon Ball. Look at Baki. Okay, maybe not Baki. Okay, that's messed up. But you get my point. And DMC is supposed to be the pinnacle of style, the peak of combat. No pun intended. So in the words, you got my point, right? Like, you get my point. DMC is supposed to be the pinnacle of style. It's supposed to be right at the top. And in the words of the great DMC4 Dante, what the hell is this? Oh, and yeah, more of lady swearing by the way. And this vice president, Baines, is just straight up a bane in my ass. Like he is an irritation, and the only redeeming quality he had in season 1 was because the legend Kevin Conroy himself voiced him. Oh, I'm a priest. Oh, I'm God's forsworn sword. Just pack up your things and join Fortuna, man. Just join Fortuna at this point. Oh, and by the way, Virgil detesting Dante purely because he was more talented and jealous of him. Dude, that's just lazy writing in my opinion. Hell, I might have given it a pass if you would have just provided more context to that. Like, if you can't write a good story, at least make up for it in presentation. Virgil's whole point is that he didn't appreciate of the dichotomy of the human and demon blood flowing within him, and that power and might are the only way, because only then will you be strong enough to live and not be helpless in situations. That mindset, because of the trauma he endured, is what makes Virgil so endearing to fans, and the fact that canonically it took years of torture for Virgil to lose his identity, and that this stupid crappy adaptation just makes stuff along the way and absolutely goes nowhere is just mind-boggling. And where the hell is the banter? DMC3's first meeting of Dante and Virgil had better dialogue writing and chemistry than the two of them share in the entire show. At least have the banter right. The dialogues need to be on point. Both of the brothers don't seem to have anything known as personalities due to poor dialogue writing. And it just seems wrong for Virgil to use Dante's guns, okay? Like the only time we see Virgil use a gun was in DMC3, and that too he did because it fell on his hand. And he just wanted to finish Arkham off. And by the way, where the hell are his summoned swords? Why aren't we seeing that? That's Virgil's signature. And visionary Adi Shankar has to reuse songs from the games, and he couldn't come up or hire someone to come up with original tunes. Like please, and please don't butcher Bury the Light, man. They butchered Bury the Light. It's my favorite song and they just messed it up, okay? They sprayed poop all over it. It's my favorite song and it got destroyed. Again, we got some weird monologue from Scottish Mario. And what the hell did they do to the Sparda, man? It looks more like a giant piece of waste than anything close to the legendary blade of the Dark Knight Sparda. Episode 4. Oh, so Mundus is a tailor. Okay, he is a tailor. He crafted Virgil's fit and drip. And he has now become a Temu version of his game self. At least he sounded like a god or a king. He sounds like some damn Socrates on the verge of an aneurysm right now. Virgil vs Arius was a decent fight. Actually, much more of what I actually wanted to see Virgil happen in there. He teleported, he was being fast, but just not enough. And what the bloody hell is that Argosax design? DMC2 did a lot of things wrong, but at the very least, I liked the design of Argosax in that game. It's a hot take, but I actually did like that. Actually, I liked almost every character's design in DMC2. And Dante, your one-liners can be way better than whatever the hell you said. Like seriously, it's an issue when you think DMC2's
Yeah, here's your crown
line sounds way better than any of Dante's jokes cracked in the 2 seasons. Like, it's a far cry, okay? Okay, Fortuna was mentioned. Surely they'll mess that up too when the time comes. Like Fortuna's a big deal in the games and they couldn't even drop hints of it very well. Like who would even care about Fortuna if the delivery is like that? You only get a glimpse and maybe a mention which is delivered so poorly that one would just ignore it. Like not even think about it. And what the hell is all this President of the United States negotiating a deal with Mundus? Why do we need all of this political world bleeding into a simple universe like Devil May Cry? If you're not willing to give depth into that and mess with the pacing, don't do that in the first place. Oh wait, the president died. Just like that. He died. Yes, POTUS, the most powerful man on the planet, just died. Nice to see the brothers work together for a change, and Lady just sweared again. Also, is it really important to have music playing in each and every one of the scenes, like this punk rock music in every single little fight scene? Seriously? And for the first time, at least, the jackpot made sense in the anime. I liked the Medaglia twist, it was fine. Actually, it was very well executed in my opinion. But, oh, what the hell did I just see? So, they're a thing now, I guess? Yeah, way to end the episode, guys. Episode 5. Okay, so we get the reboot DMC outfit and one more poor Dante joke about the magicians. And then we see the big bad of the season, Argosax the Chaos, who's only powerful enough to destroy a city. Like, come on, man, you're a demon lord. You can't even destroy a city properly. Lady can't have one decent conversation without cussing, can she? And yeah, great. Dante and Lady are actually canon and had sex. Okay, I like Dante and Lady's teamwork, but they're just not romantic partners. They can be fine in combat, but as romantic partners, I guess you know what I'm about to say, okay? I guess you already know what I'll say. But all I can say is that whenever I see Dante speak, whenever I hear Dante's words, I just hear Ichigo. I don't hear Dante. I hear Nero. I don't hear Dante. And well, the animation was a bit weird for me at the final fight scene, okay? And the ending scene of the episode. That's all I gotta say. Episode 5 is just there. It just exists. There is nothing to talk about in that episode. Episode 6. So we get the look of the very first DMC3 outfit in this anime. And the vice president who seemed intelligent is now so dumb, like I can't believe that Devil May Cry would be intermingled with religious beliefs. Like, it makes sense, but it also doesn't, okay? And again, all I hear is Ichigo, not Dante, and Argosax's design. What is this flower spider corny design for Argosax? It's a problem if DMC2 out of all games does something better than you. DMC2 is doing stuff better than you, like let that sink in, Adi Shankar. And I liked it better when Mundus and Argosax were rivals. Not that Mundus was a servant of Argosax. And the betrayal of Mundus, it's delivered so poorly that I couldn't give a damn. Also, Arius is provided a backstory. He's shown to have lived multiple lifetimes, okay, just to resurrect Argosax. So I guess that was fine. A bit of backstory. Again, we need much more of that, but let's not expect anything at this point, right? And in this episode, I saw much more of the game Virgil in this Virgil. Okay, he's mature, he's serious and composed when conversing. And I started to like him a bit because of his interaction with the kid. It took some time to like him, but okay, I did. Good enough to see Vice President Haynes or Baines, whatever his name was, die. Okay, he's an idiot, and idiocy like that has got to suffer the consequences. I laughed at his death, okay? I was so satisfied, you guys can't believe it. And we get the final design for Arius and Argosax at the end of the episode. Whatever you want to call that, it's okay. Nothing special, okay? It's really nothing special. Ben 10 did way better, okay? Ben 10 was way better, even back then. Episode 7. I get that. Virgil was raised like a son in the eyes of Mundus, okay? He shared his beliefs, but it'll only take a fool to not know that him and his father stood on opposite sides. So Virgil's shock is really pointless for me. Like, my guy, your father fought against Mundus, okay? Why in the entire 7 universes would you trust him, of all people, okay? He fought your father. He could have killed him. And you're fighting for him? And you're getting shocked that he betrayed you? Just no, okay? And I take my words back. I hate the design, okay? Really hate the design of Argosax. I take my words back. And Lady does not know how to negotiate, okay? She cannot be a saleswoman, my bad. She cannot be. And this is the DMC3 team up we get. Lady, Dante, Virgil working together to kill a city level demon lord. More like demon fraud. And Baines was supposed to be her father figure? Seriously? Seriously, Baines? You're telling me that a guy who didn't display an ounce of affection or even emotion towards you for 2 seasons straight, let alone the time before those seasons even took place, has the right to be called a father figure? Bro, at this point, Homelander is more of a father to Ryan than Baines ever was to Lady. Peak character development right here, guys. Peak character development. I don't know what they were going for Virgil's DT design, like his devil trigger, but it looks the same as Dante, just colored blue. Like, if you just compare both Virgil and Dante's design, it's just blue instead of red. Okay, that's it. These guys are so lazy. So lazy. They can't even separate the detailing of the devil trigger designs at all. And just when we needed good music, we get DMC3's Mission 1 music, and this is where they pick it for. Okay, this is the moment they pick it for. Peak music, very bad timing. And at one point, lady is like, you shouldn't swear. Highly rich coming from you, lady. Highly rich coming from you. And let's just make the music seem louder and louder so that the terrible special effects sound gets negated. And then the bad flowery design is back again. Okay? And just to the surprise of absolutely no one at all, it took only 2 bullets to send him into another portal. Okay? That's on the sky, by the way. The portal is on the sky, above them. It's not even in front of them. How can 2 bullets launch him up into the sky and send him into another dimension? How? Like, it just doesn't make sense. It's not making sense, guys. It's not making sense. And by the way, this show managed to permanently ruin Jackpot for me, okay? It has ruined the most iconic quote in the Devil May Cry franchise. Is there anything this show cannot do at this point? And before we move on, please like and subscribe if you really like the content. Much more DMC content coming out in the future. Okay, so stay tuned and subscribe to the Devil Crow. Now, episode 8. I wanted to see a proper Mundus and Sparda fight. Like, I was really excited because this was one opportunity where the show could have had something to brag about more than the games. Because the games never showed Sparda, okay, in action at least. And this was their chance to show Sparda how much of a badass he was. Okay, and they couldn't even get that right. And by the way, speaking of familiar demons from the games, Jester was also successfully ruined for me, okay? Because his sense of humor is worse than mine, okay? And I've got a terrible sense of humor. Jester in the games, funny as hell. Jester in the show, a piece of shit. It just goes to show that humor is not Adi Shankar's strong suit, okay? The jokes are just poor, whether it be Dante's or Jester's, or even ladies, man. Like, no one's got a good sense of humor in this show. And Mundus also really doing nothing apart from light beams and lightning. The guy fashioned an entire universe through his power in the games, and now he's just a cheap magician doing lightning tricks. Okay, I like the villain versus villain concept, the Mundus being lured to fight Argosax and finish him off. I really love that. But where's the sequence? Okay, and why does Mundus's voice not sound threatening at all? He sounds like a librarian making announcements in the library. What's going on? And yes, by the way, we also get the 30th interpretation of Sparda's backstory, okay? It sounded decent enough, but just stop bleeding Sparda's backstory out, man. You don't need to go back and forth right into that. There are other ways to progress the story. And Virgil's reasoning for his betrayal is... well, I don't even know what to say, man. I'm just straight up confused at this point, okay? I straight up can't understand anything at all. Any characterization, any motivation. I cannot understand Virgil's motivation, man. Also, did you just ran out of ideas that you ended up animating the game's fighting scenes? And it makes sense because you can't make Dante fight stylishly, okay? Not even once in both of the seasons did I see Dante being stylish, okay? They were so generic with the fight choreography, man. And seriously, the choreography in this anime is mid. Look at JJK, okay? Look at any anime. Even Attack on Titan managed to do fight scenes much better than DMC. Even AOT, man. This show is so corny that even the emotional moment where another line was copied from the game didn't even move me, okay? Like, the thing about the game is that Virgil took years of character development to finally start coming to terms with his humanity and contemplates that, yes, could my life be different if this was different? And Virgil, who's a bum in this show, by the way, does not even have a fleshed out backstory and just drops this one line expecting it to be a Shakespearean masterpiece. Are you Shakespeare, my guy? Are you? And wow, just wow. What an absolute dog shit ending. Like, what was that? After all the love and romance between Lady and Dante, she just walks out of his life yet again? What was all that for? What was the kiss, the sex, the dialogues, everything? And she just walks away? And you don't even get anything from Dante, by the way. Dante is missing from the ending, okay? Dante is completely missing. And by the way, this season did not have any post-credit scene at all, by the way, okay? The post-credits are meant to keep us excited for future content, okay? It's meant to be a setup for season 3 or season 4 or season 5, whichever season is coming next. And this show had nothing. It had no setup to get us excited for future seasons. All I see is corny dialogue from every single character in this game. Okay? And absolutely nothing from the brothers. Virgil just fights with Mundus at the end, and well, it doesn't take a genius to figure out that Virgil's going to lose this fight. Okay? He's going to be defeated, and that's going to be the plot line in season 3. In conclusion, absolutely terrible overall writing and poor execution, which had some moments of hope that it would be redeemed in the middle, but just like the start of the show, the ending sucked. Poor characterization of Dante, lady is still annoying, and Virgil is not Virgil, okay? He's like Virgin from the DMC reboot. I'd honestly rather go play DMC Devil May Cry rather than watch this absolute trash of an anime again, okay? Now see, I'm gonna address people as being basic anime fans, not even being Devil May Cry anime fans, okay? Guys, there's this OG anime which was released in 2007, okay? Even though it's forgotten by many, it's still top tier content. Like, it's available on YouTube, literally you can watch it there for free, and sure, not much content is there, it's only like 7 hours long, but it does perfectly whatever point I have mentioned in this video. World building, character development, sure, action scenes have come and improved over the years, but even the dialogues were peak. Patty's relationship with Dante was just adorable to watch, and Trish and Lady in that anime were done perfectly. Every character had their distinct personality, their distinct character traits, and the storyline progressed in a very linear fashion, whilst having side content as well to keep you on the feed. So what I'm saying is that, by the way, for context, I finished this trash anime in just 2 hours, okay? It's that bad. And I don't care if you like this anime, okay? I don't care, you're just wrong. You're just wrong. It's either you haven't played the games, or you haven't watched the OG anime, or you played the games but sucked at it and didn't understand them at all. They're the only reasons of why I could think that you would like this show. It's an absolute disrespect to a masterpiece of a franchise that literally gave birth to a whole new category of games. And as if it's already bad enough, Capcom hasn't given us anything for the past 8 years. Not even any updates or news on any remakes as well, let alone a new game. So, all we have to get is this. Okay? This is what DMC fans are getting. DMC fans, my sympathies are with you and my hopes are with you that we'll finally get something new, something fresh, some better content in the future from Capcom itself. Anyways, if you like Devil May Cry, please give a like and subscribe. This is your Devil Crow. Peace.